Hey, what's up, guys? Got another video here for you. This is DENT Sports. My name is Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
I'm Steve.
I'm Don.
And today we've got another video for you. We just wrapped up, what they're saying is week 8, I guess, of the college football season. But, at this point, everybody's on a different schedule, so it's just another week. For the most part, a lot of happy things to say tonight. Some not so happy, but, we'll get into it as we go along. But let's start off on a happy note, and that would be with the Wolverines. They took on the Golden Gophers in Minnesota and managed to win the game 49-24 for their opening game of the season. So, I'd say a pretty good performance by them, and, overall, just a pretty good job, especially by the defense, keeping Minnesota pretty much stagnant on offense. I mean, they obviously made some plays, but on the whole, they didn't do too much. So, good performance by the Wolverines today.
Yeah, I was impressed with the special teams play. I thought they played really well tonight. I didn't expect it to be a super clean game, given the fact that it's the first game of the season. And seeing how we're in Minnesota and, we got two teams basically ranked, near one another with 18 and 21. So I figured it would be a close game. It was nice to see Michigan pull the win out. I saw a lot of issues. That the offense didn't look super good to me. And some of the defense didn't look all that great either. But I'm hoping, by next week they can clean some of that up and hopefully have a pretty good season ahead of them. But not a bad showing overall, and I like a lot of what I saw.
Yeah, I was going to say good performance by Michigan. Did what they needed to do to get the win. Scratching my head on some of the decisions on Minnesota, like going for it or faking it on their own, 30 or something like that in the second quarter.
Yeah.
It's sitting there like this, and, I'm thinking, Norvell's there on the coaching staff for Minnesota. It's like, what are you doing? You're still in the game, and you're trying to throw Hail Marys, trying to keep up with them. But, it was just, I don't know. Good job, though. Michigan did what they needed to do to get it done. Mm-hmm. Defense played, well, I think, for the most part. Mm-hmm. And then offense is, it's good, just like you said last time, right? I mean, they're good this is good for, the bottom feeders for the Big Ten, but when you get the Ohio States, they need to make sure that, that offense performs a lot better than what it's showing right now. So.
And it looks like the local kid did get in the game.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, McNamara actually played some tonight. So he's a local kid from DeMonte Ranch, so kudos to him. That was cool to see him get in the game.
Guess he's number 2 on the chart then.
Yeah.
That tells you something.
He didn't complete a pass, but he got in there.
He looked good.
Yeah.
Uniform.
Yeah, exactly. He made that yellow and blue look good.
Yeah.
No, so, that tells you a lot, though, that, if he's second on the chart, that's a good sign. So, nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
As far as this thing goes for me, good performance. The backup team, they definitely showed up in the second half. Held them to 0 points in the fourth quarter.
Quick! The quicker picker-upper.
Overall,
Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
Yeah, I would completely agree. Obviously,
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Like Dad said, first week.
Big Ben Mason with the left of Milton in front of Evans.
But I think there was definitely.
And Evans has it. Can he get there? Spins and dives and scores a touchdown for the first time since late 2018. And you can see what it means to his teammates who congratulate him.
He's been through to be able to be welcomed back to this team. Good block again, man. If you're back, just follow 42. Follow 42 to the promised land. He will take you there, and he'll take some defenders with him.
To run the ball well. Yep. And that's kind of how they.
I mean, they've been
some big-time tight ends. He's that high on him. And he said, yeah, we have. Come to think of it.
It's Milton with the keeper, patiently following his blocks and just muscling into the end zone.
You respond. If you're a championship caliber team, home team gets a big drive to try to get back into the game, to get themselves to believe. Milton, we were just talking about his execution, his efficiency.
Yeah, well, that tells you, though, 140 yards. Michigan's got some holes on the run defense there, it looks like. But,
Yeah.
Again, this is week 1 for them, so, and they'll hopefully get some stuff cleaned up. But it was a good game for them.
Yeah, no, it definitely could have been a lot worse. And, again, week 1. So, and they were against a solid team, and they did what they had to do. But, like Don said, this will work against, Minnesota. But when you get to the tougher teams on the schedule, they got to work on a couple of things. But I think they probably got a few weeks before they get to any of those teams, so they should be fine. Alrighty. Speaking of things that don't work, let's go into the Nevada game next. Well, a lot of things were working, and then, yikes.
Yeah, I was going to say, first half, great look. Actually was kind of thinking that, wow, what did they do for recruiting on defense this year? Looked like they were actually playing some form of defense, which they normally don't do. And so it was kind of nice to see, refreshing. Offense, did just enough to put some points on the board. Again, play calling as well. Again, hey, if you're 4th down in inches, I get it. You want to go for it, but you know what? Take the points. But you get stuffed and you don't score and you get 0 out of it. And that hurts you sometimes because again, even if it's 3, at least it's something, right? You've added points to the board. Again, just decision making and anything that helps with it to get it done. And then the second half, I have no idea what's going on. The regular Nevada defense shows back up again. The offense has minus yards in the 4th quarter by themselves, and then luckily somehow finds themselves going into overtime, where they were able to, again, defense showed up for a series, made them kick a field goal. And then they won it in overtime with an offensive touchdown on it. Again, just for me, pet peeve, again, coaching, calling timeouts at the end of the game, waste of time, and it just gives the kicker a better chance to nail it, and which he did. So I think what he did was shanked it left on the first one, wobbled the snap on the second one, and of course the third time.
Second down and short. Blitz comes. Strong has time. There's the lob ball. There's the catch for the touchdown. Turner falling down. Holds on. Flag is down.
Let him go catch a rebound. That's all you got to do. 6'6", man. Just give him a chance. He's going to body these guys out.
Pass interference. Defense is on the field all the time, and Wyoming got into a nice rhythm.
Game time, interneting room.
Which is going to happen when guys are getting tired. But, again, it's the word defense and Nevada usually don't go together. So it's one of those things where I think, I was encouraged by a lot of what I saw tonight. I thought overall they looked pretty good. And truthfully, I thought it was a good win for them. Wyoming's supposed to be pretty decent this year, and of course so is Nevada. But to get a win was a good sign. A lot, like Don said, though, some of the coaching moves and stuff. And again, we always talk about discipline with these teams, and it's the same old, same old. You got guys making stupid plays, getting 15-yard penalties. At the end of the game, giving up super big yards to allow them to get into field goal range. You just can't do that kind of stuff. You play a decent team, you're losing that game because of it. And, they were very fortunate to pull this game out. And, hopefully it's a lesson learned. But it's just one of those things. You got to have players that are smart enough not to make horrible plays like hitting somebody out of bounds and all this kind of stuff that happened tonight. Just horrible. this is a much more censored version of my opinion of what happened than it was at the time when I was watching it. And but yeah, overall, I'm happy for Nevada. It's a nice win.
Yeah, good win for Nevada. Wyoming, again, supposed to be one of the better teams in the Mountain West. So, overall, they made a couple mistakes, especially going down the stretch, like he said, with the guy, hitting him out of bounds, put Wyoming in field goal range pretty much. And then, like Don also said, the timeouts, instead of letting them kick it. Just crucial mistakes down the stretch for Nevada, but they luckily pulled it out in overtime. So, good win for them.
Yeah, yeah. First, I just wanted to say, something that another YouTuber that I watch, Dallas Cowboy fan 1980, always says is penalties will beat you faster than the other team. And I definitely believe that at times in the second half, that's definitely something that happened. And it wasn't even just the second half. In the first drive of the game for Wyoming, you had a 3-and-out opportunity. Now, this didn't result in points, but you had a 3-and-out opportunity. They're going to kick the extra point. Not the extra point, but the punt to you, and you jump off sides and give them a free first down, which, again, like I said, defense stepped up after that and forced another 3-and-out, and then they got the punt right. So, yay, good on you for doing your jobs. But, that was a mistake that against, like we said, yes, we can talk about this game and how, does it really matter because they won? Yes, it matters, because when you go against the better teams, you can't do this kind of stuff. Again, Wyoming didn't capitalize on that, but against a better team, they probably would have. And there was many mistakes. Dad talked about it before. The play was already pretty much over, and the guy met him in the chalk. It wasn't like, he still had a foot in bounds and he hit him, or it was pretty close. The dude was most of the way, almost to the green, outside of the out-of-bounds line, and he slams into him 15 yards when the momentum is already on Wyoming's side of the ball. Yeah, and then the other thing is, I know the stats are going to show that the punter did one hell of a job tonight with 2 70-yard punts. Let me tell you something. That guy needs to really get better. I was not impressed with many of his punts tonight. He got lucky on some bounces, and I guess maybe there's some skill in making it bounce in the right direction. I don't know. I never have been a punter before, but man, hit distance-wise in the air, nah, man, nah. Not impressive tonight.
No, that's on the punt returner. The punt returner's got to get up there and know how far he can kick it in the air and then minimize it at that point.
Yeah.
And of course, it's been happening all night, so he should have been expecting a 30 to 40-yard punt.
Yeah.
To be up there instead of 50 and 60 yards, and then running up to it and then backing away from it and letting it take a huge bounce and bounce over it, because it happened on the 70-yarders. Both of them, same thing, bounced over his head.
Yep. But again, we're talking about this game, and that's not a big deal because we won, right? Wrong. Because against the better teams, they're going to make the adjustment.
No, it was just like the defense also at the end of the game. Yeah. Not playing through the whistle, not group tackling, not in anything with it. If you get up against Boise, you're going to lose. And then,
they had that one play where the defender, the ball, the quarterback threw it or whatever, and it ended up being a forward pass and a incompletion, but the whistle wasn't blown, and he just kind of stood there and watched the other guy go for it. It's like, get it, until find out later that it was an incompletion, because right now it's a fumble. I don't care. So, but again, overall, good win. I honestly, hey, I was the only one that picked Nevada, so good for him and his dad getting the win. But, I honestly, as well as they all, wasn't sure about their chances at winning tonight, even though I did pick them. So I think this is a solid win for them. But again, there's a lot of things they need to improve on. But just like with Michigan, this was their first game. So I wasn't expecting greatness, even if they did win or lose. I wasn't expecting great things. And they definitely offered some things that weren't too great. But, receiving-wise, they had 2 receivers over 100 yards receiving, which was definitely very good. And they had some other guys with pretty big plays as well. One receiver had 64 yards on 5 receptions, 40 on 2, 2 on 20 or 24 on 2. Yeah. So good chunks for these guys.
I can see that. I think Turner is it. I think he's going to be
Turner. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to be if he stays healthy through the season.
Was he the punt returner?
No, he was the kind of like he looks like tight end, kind of wide out.
Oh yeah.
Tall guy.
Yeah.
He could be a beast. He could be one of those Kelsey, type tight ends that will be able to gouge the middle of the defense out.
Yep.
If he's able to play, so they might actually have a pretty nice weapon.
Yeah.
And that guy going forward.
Yeah, and then whoever the kick returner was or whatever, number 7, I was definitely impressed by that guy. Yeah, he had 12 receptions that's who it was. Mm-hmm. 12 receptions, 117 yards. Dude was all over the field, and he even had a kick return for a touchdown if they hadn't blown it on the holding and the offsides. So there's another one too, costly penalties. You don't have that. That's a 7 points on special teams. The offense doesn't even have to hit the field. So, it is what it is. But anyways, overall solid performance by Nevada. Good to pick up a win at home, especially first game of the season against a solid opponent. Good job. And, best wishes to their quarterback too, because that sucks that
first game.
First game.
First series, first couple series.
Yeah, first game, first series, and he got taken out. So I definitely think that may have had an impact on the game. But the other guy played pretty well too. Yeah. So, hey.
No, he did a great job backing him up.
Yeah.
Even the kick, Wyoming, again, coming in, backup kicker.
Yeah.
Backup quarterback. Took it into overtime.
Yeah.
Good for them.
On the road when they were way out of it for a while.
Good job for them to keep it close and not stop playing. So.
Yep. Unlike our next game, Tennessee, I said in the preview, I expected them to win by 30. I didn't expect it to be close at any point. It was going to be a blowout. Nothing surprising here. That's exactly what happened. Really, the only thing of worthy note is that, unfortunately, we lost Jalen Waddle to a season-ending injury during the course of the game. Now, Alabama has plenty of weapons, so I don't think it'll really come into play or be that big of a deal right now. But I definitely think, when we get into some of the tougher opponents, like if we were to play Clemson or somebody like that moving forward, the big picture, this is a very unfortunate and very difficult thing, especially when you consider that the game was a wash. To lose him in a game that wasn't even close, to have an injury like that sucks. And it was on the very first play. So, that sucks too. But overall, they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. Mac Jones hardly had any incompletions, took care of the football, and defense, did an overall pretty good job. They didn't get any turnovers, but, they did a good job and forced 2 fumbles as well. So, great job by them and great job overall. Just unfortunate with Mr. Waddle, but other than that, good stuff today.
Yeah, another not surprising win by Alabama seems to be a common occurrence throughout most of their season, most seasons of theirs. So, and as we know, Tennessee hasn't been playing all that great as of recent, and that didn't change today. So, good showing by Alabama, and feel bad for Waddle, but I would have to expect that, he'll probably be back, like not necessarily this year, but probably next year or so.
Yeah, if he doesn't decide to just jump ship and head to the pros, we'll see. But
yeah, there's absolutely nothing surprising about this victory to me. As far as Waddle is concerned, it's just going to be plug another guy in. They'll get somebody there that's going to give them similar numbers probably as what he's got. Not suggesting for a moment that he's not a good receiver or doesn't have, top level abilities or whatever, but I mean, in Alabama, it's pretty much everybody there has, A-level ability, so I don't expect them to miss a beat with him being gone.
Yeah, I mean, even this year they lost 2, right? They lost
Yeah.
Ruggs and they lost Judy, so look, they didn't miss a skip a beat, right?
No.
So
Yeah. I mean, it's just the next man up is basically what happens, and it's that way every year because they lose players in every position every year to the NFL. So it is unfortunate, though, because I do like the kid. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Hopefully he can return.
Yeah, it just hurts his Heisman, chances if he had any for this year, which kind of stinks. But besides for the team, though, it's just, next.
business as usual,
Plug and
unfortunately.
play, bring in the next pro, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
That's on there. But, as far as me, typical, it's the same have and have-nots of the SEC. Typical game.
Yeah. No, exactly. Not a surprise. We all pretty much predicted this. And, that's about all I have to say about that.
Yeah. I mean, Tennessee is where they are right now.
They're better, though. I mean,
I do think they're going in the right direction as a program. And, they got a couple wins already, which is more than they could have said a couple of years ago. So, they're definitely looking like they're on the right track. And Alabama's not really a good team to judge it by, just because, I mean, they just got all-stars all over
They
the field.
smoke everybody pretty much.
Yeah, but it's a measuring stick, though. I mean, one way to find your weaknesses is to play a good team, and they'll show it to you real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if you need areas in your team to get improvement, you'll see what they will be on the film, and it will be obvious and pretty painful real fast.
And there'll be many of them.
Yep.
Yep, like a pretty glaring one. They had 2 receivers over 50 yards, and the rest of them were all in single digits. So,
they're
something to look for in the off season.
I mean, it's all relative though to, can you run the ball? If you can't run the ball, then they're expecting to pass. So the passing yards is going to be a joke because you don't have, they're playing on it. And I don't know what the running game looked like today, but
Well, the 2 main rushers averaged 3 yards a carry. So
yeah.
Eric Gray looking like Mixon from last week.
Yeah.
This is a typical performance by Alabama, and I think you'll see more of the same moving forward.
Yeah. No, like I said, not a surprise to anybody. I said that they were going to win by 30 at least. I picked them. I even bet on them. And, they covered that handily. And, so no surprises there. Moving on to the next game and our final game of the round table, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
Let's get into Florida State Seminoles taking on the Louisville Cardinals. Well, you want to go first, or
No,
some
you
other
guys.
people?
You guys.
Okay, Dad, how about you go?
Well, I was actually very disappointed today with this game. I thought Florida State would have shown up and played a lot better than they did. There really wasn't any piece of this game that Florida State looked like, they were on par with this team, even talent-wise. And I find that hard to believe that they don't have talent. But offensively, did not move the ball well. This Jordan Travis kid, in my opinion, he made a lot of bad throws today. Some of it could have been happy feet, doesn't have time to throw, so he's in a hurry to get rid of it.
Absolutely.
And a lot of his throws were on the run, and he's trying to make throws that, you got to be pinpoint accurate with and, put the ball in harm's way on multiple occasions. He was very fortunate to only have 1 interception, in my opinion.
And wasn't the interception he had through the receiver's hands into the air?
Yeah, it was the.
Oh yeah, bounced off the helmet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite play of the day.
I mean, it's like we said.
What's your job? You're a wide receiver. Oh, okay.
I mean, there's a lot of blame to go around for this one. The defensive coordinator, I don't know, what film he was watching prior to this game, but he must not have paid any attention to the film that was actually there.
He must have been watching tape with the Eagles.
Because the defense almost looked clueless to me. It was bad all the way around. Pretty much an embarrassing game. And I like the coach. I like Norvell. I think he will have it turned around, but he needs to look for a defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, this looked like to me it was at least on the Louisville side. It looked like their basketball program. I mean, they were just anything they wanted to do. They were running around, throwing the ball, running the ball. Anything they wanted to do on offense was being done really easy with it. And then on the other side, Florida State again, can't catch the ball, can't run the ball. It was just bad. And, again, I understand the quarterback's probably trying to do the best he can, and he's under pressure, and he's doing, things, probably not out of the ordinary or under his normal control. And he's just trying to survive and make plays out of it because Louisville was all over him.
Yeah.
Again, it was just one of those things like, here they come.
Yeah.
And, do the best you can.
Floodgates are open, so here we go.
It's like that TikTok thing. Yeah. Run.
It was totally just he was just panicking back there all day.
Yeah.
Eventually they were smart enough to get him out and put in the other one for fresh meat.
Yeah.
For Louisville to throw around. For a bit, but all in all, again, coming off beating a top 5 team last week at home, again going on the road and just getting ran out of the building wasn't good.
No,
it was just an upsetting day.
Yeah, honestly, not a whole lot to add to what they said. It was just a pretty miserable performance overall. I feel like they played better than the score showed, at least at times, but there was just a combination of just the same things happening consistently and them not really doing anything about it. And again, like Dad said, I think he really said it best when he said that they just look like they just didn't have the talent to play with them, and that's not the case. I mean, they should be. I would imagine they have a much better recruiting class, so I would think they'd have more talent, but it sure didn't look like it out there because, like Don said, everything that Louisville wanted to do offensively and even defensively for that matter, because they were, if they didn't even need to blitz to bring pressure. They were in the backfield with the guy the second of the snap. It was just really, really bad. And, I kind of equate Jordan Travis a little bit to like the Lamar Jackson thing where put him behind early and good luck. Forcing him to have to pass and do things that really aren't his strong suit. His strong suit is when his legs are on the table, they're running the ball well, and you really don't know, is he going to run it? Is the running back taking it? Is he going to pull it back and pass? And the offense is flowing and stuff. But this coming from behind stuff, they're pretty much in a situation where you almost have to abandon the run because you're behind by so much so early, and the defense is just sitting there waiting for him, like, go ahead, let's see it. And then, like I said before, they're not even having to really blitz that much, and they're in the backfield with him, making him have to scramble and pass, like Dad said, throw passes on the run and all this other stuff. You're just not going to win. That's not what he does. That's not what he was brought in to do, I don't think. And you're just going to struggle when that's what you end up doing. Now, with that said, one thing that I also wanted to bring up, I think that Norvell, yes? That's his name? Okay. I think Norvell is a solid coach, and I saw things during the game and just during the course of the season that I haven't seen in the last handful of years. So I think moving forward, I don't know if he's the right guy, but I think he's definitely an improvement. However, there was still stupid penalties throughout the game. And then the other thing is 14 points in the first half. You're down 31-14. You managed to score a whole 2 points in the second half. Where are the adjustments? I mean, that's on the coach. That's on coaching. You can't draw up different plays to make something happen. I mean, I understand that they were in the backfield with him and all this. I get it. But at the same time, I mean, the only points were scored by your defense because they tackled somebody in the end zone? I mean, that's ridiculous. You got to do better than that.
Well, but then again, you got to give him a little bit of slack because, again, just like most coaches, that it's not most of his kids right now. He's still cooking with the other guys' ingredients.
Yeah.
So until those get flushed out, for the most part, we'll see what he can do. But again, I'm sure the kids that are there right now are not geared toward his Memphis style.
No, definitely not.
You watch Memphis. It's a Big 12 game. It's the pinball machine where they're going to run up 50 points per se. But again, it depends on what kids. But usually with Florida State, you're going to get athletes that should be able to mold and be able to pick up that offense and be somewhat sufficient.
Yeah, I never seen a defensive showing where guys basically from Louisville were virtually running with nobody around them.
I was going to say, who was the running back? Was it from Louisville?
The running back's name?
It was
Hawkins?
Hawkins, yeah. I mean, the dude was just running like nobody was touching him until like 5-6 yards down the field. Yeah, and there was like nobody around him. It was just
it showed
like practice.
He averaged 10.9 yards a carry, and he carried it 16 times.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a big run here or there. It was consistently just.
Yeah, it was scary looking.
Good luck.
Every single running back had a field day.
Essentially.
And all the receivers, too. I mean, like I said, I've never seen.
What it is.
Yeah, to me, the receivers, it was pitch and catch out there. Nobody was guarding them. Like, I don't know what the hell was going on. Literally. I mean, it was worse. I mean, we talked about the discipline aspect, in the Nevada game. Well, here's another prime example of no discipline whatsoever. Horrible penalties, like you mentioned. Stupid plays. At inopportune times. Not that there's ever a good time to have a penalty, but
especially
keep stubbing your foot, and nothing ever changed.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it was just, and like I said, like in the first quarter, I feel like the score was 21-7, but I felt like they played decently and just like made a couple of mistakes, and Louisville burnt them for it. And I feel like that was pretty much, defensively, they didn't show up at any point, really. It was just a mess on the defensive side. But offensively, I feel like, there were points where they showed some good things, but then either a penalty or just a mistake would force them out of it or force them to make a mistake. And boom, Louisville was down their throat the minute after they did it. And it just got out of hand so quickly that, they just couldn't do much about it. And then, like I said before, it's the Lamar Jackson thing. Make him come from behind and force him to do things that he's not necessarily comfortable with, and he's going to struggle. I said that during the preview also. Last week and other weeks when he's gone against lesser teams. I'm not saying North Carolina is a lesser team, but I'm just saying in previous weeks when he's gone against teams that have allowed him to run for 180, 190 yards, he looked great. But somebody went out and stopped the running game, and you're going to see what he can do passing. And 14 of 32 for 141 yards and a pick. So, they forced him to throw the ball, and he looked average. And so, unfortunately, that's kind of how I saw the game going. And I was really hoping that I was wrong, but that's essentially what happened. So, anyways, I know you guys, if you're still watching, have probably been waiting to hear from the actual Florida State fan here at the table. So, Bennett, the floor is yours.
Won't do it.
How about speechless? This was some bull crap. Might as well have not even played today. Gave up, only in the third quarter did they not give up double digits in scoring. I mean, that's literally, like, unacceptable. And, man, one positive, though, I will say about today's game was the first touchdown that was scored. The first touchdown that was scored was a very, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the first drive looked great.
Yeah, I really did like the way they were looking in the first drive, but then look what happened. They didn't do a thing the rest of the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
This was heartbreaking, especially after coming off of a win against a top 5 ranked opponent at the time. This was not what I was expecting, and I really don't got much to say. Outside of just pitiful crap, pitiful performance. Good thing we got a bye week, because these guys need to sit down on their rear ends and think about how they played today. That's for sure. Then we got Pitt the following week. I'm almost doubting that we're going to win that one. So, it's just
season. It's
just very ridiculous. This isn't, to me, how Florida State should be. To be getting blown out by Louisville? Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It
wouldn't have happened 20 years ago, that's for sure. It definitely wouldn't have happened 20 years ago.
It's tough when the teams fall from their grace. Like I said, Colorado's done it.
Louisville.
They're still there. They're still there.
But nonetheless, Louisville shouldn't be even in the same talent range as Florida State is. It's.
But you wouldn't know it by what we watched.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it by what we watched today. And
it looked like a jersey swap.
The sad.
Because normally that would be Florida State on that end.
Also, the sad thing is, it felt like their offense was just faster than our defense. A lot of their corners were, not corners, but their wide receivers were a lot faster than the people that were guarding them. And we didn't play around that. You would think that possibly they would have a couple guys deep on each play just to help cover, because,
they didn't scheme very well. They got outplayed from, outside of the opening kickoff in that first drive, it wasn't a game after that.
Oh yeah, there was multiple things though that went wrong. Jordan Travis didn't show up. Unfortunately,
he showed up.
He showed up, but all he did was basically nothing.
Not much he could do.
I was gonna say, like I said, what it comes down to is they put him in a position where he was forced to do things that he's not 100% comfortable with, especially this being his first year.
The blueprint's been set.
No, this is his second year.
But first year starting.
I think last week's game didn't help either. Because like I said, I think everybody was reading the newspapers, reading the internet, and everybody around town's going, "Good job, boys! You beat the top 5 team." And you know what I mean? They got off the bus, and then as soon as they got that first score, it might have been the worst thing for them. Because then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, this is in the bag." Because we already did it last week, right?
Yeah.
We beat the number 5 team.
Well,
and guess what? Then all of a sudden, okay, we've got something on the other side here. It's going to give us a little bit of a game here, and then it just rolled out and it just rolled them.
The sad thing is though too, is there was actually multiple opportunities where we passed the ball when we had room to run it. Like Jordan Travis had room to scramble, and he threw like some like really deep bomb and he had plenty of field to run. I mean, I was like sitting here like, what are you doing? And then, after they sat Travis, we brought in Chubba Purdy. And you see how he did. 0 for 9.
0 yards.
Really looked great.
He did have 2 rushes for 8 yards.
He had a 1.0 QBR rating.
He was looking great out there.
And then let's not forget about special teams too, because at one point the defense, I think they turned the ball over. I think it was either late 4th quarter or late 3rd. Right as the second possession that Chubba had, they turned the ball over and they had the ball inside like the 20 or the red zone kind of area, and they went 3 straight outs, and then didn't they kick a field goal and miss it?
Yeah.
So they contributed.
It was just a well-rounded performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
really looking forward to the bye week because we're going to need it.
Yeah. I just didn't want anybody to feel left out, So, yeah, overall, I mean, it was a brutal thing to watch, and I wasn't even a fan of the team. And, yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand how you can go from beating a top 5 ranked opponent to coming out and looking this crappy. I mean, it boggles me. I mean,
No, you mean you're dealing with 18 and 20-year-old kids. So
yeah.
It's tough for them to do it week to week. It's a different ball game, and there's a lot of emotion. And that's the thing with college football. It usually makes it so great, right? There's emotional swings that occur with this game. So,
well, I mean, yet again, Jordan Travis leading the team in carries. 12 carries, 47 yards. Even though, I mean, the running backs had less carries than him, but more yards overall. Yeah. So,
I think a lot of that just comes from them saying, well, you are not going to beat us with your legs. If the running backs do something, then that's fine. But when we're doing options or stuff like that, we're hitting you.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the nice receiving core. Okay. Or Ontario Wilson, 5 catches, 27 yards. I don't believe we had a guy over 50 yards in receiving today.
No, you didn't.
I mean, it didn't help that Terry was out. Tamarion Terry, he's a big piece of the offense, but still, I mean, you would think that the guys would step up.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't do it.
And besides, I mean, Tamarion Terry's not the difference between 48-16 and winning the game anyway.
No.
And with how the quarterback was having to scramble all over the place and the throws he was making, even Terry out there would have.
No, I mean, the QB wasn't throwing it very accurately, partially because he's throwing on the run, throwing off his back foot,
He was just uncomfortable.
They like Bryson said, they just had him in a position where he didn't feel comfortable out there. He was waiting for the next somebody to come and hit him, and
And I think that
no confidence.
And I think that plays into what he was talking about, where multiple times when he probably should have just scrambled, but instead he decided to try to throw a wicked pass and ended up missing out on some yards trying to get the big play. And it's because he wasn't feeling comfortable.
And they were down by a ton. So he's trying to make plays.
Yeah, exactly.
And like they were talking about with the rushing game for Louisville, Javion Hawkins pretty much had a field day. Maurice Berkeley had a field day. Malik Cunningham had a field day.
Yeah, the quarterback.
Everybody had a field day.
Yeah, anytime the quarterback ran it.
And then, the nice thing, their leading receiver in yards had only 3 catches and had 129 yards, which is almost as much as our receiving core as a whole. So,
but he was running around with nobody around him.
Well, still, I mean, it's not right. It's that's still
yards.
ridiculous. I mean, it's
The first touchdown was a 70-yard bomb.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
I could have caught it. There was absolutely nobody around the guy. I mean, nobody.
but still, I mean, just to be giving up that much in three and
It was a great showing by the defense. The
Yeah.
defensive coordinator did one hell of a job today. Hats off, man.
Well, hey.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing what kind of crap
but you know
we
what?
can come up with against Pittsburgh.
As much as the defense sucked, the offense didn't help because it goes back to the same thing. They're always on the field because the offense was going 3 and out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about was like early on in the game.
No, I know. I know.
First series, 70 yards. Okay, nobody around them.
No, I know.
It was just unbelievable.
No, I'm not giving the defense a pass because they were horrible.
Yeah.
But the offense didn't do them any favors either.
The whole game plan
and a special team.
The rushing.
They weren't getting the pass either anyway, so you couldn't even give them a pass because they won't cover that either.
And then not only that, but when the quarterback would throw it to these guys, again, off the helmet, multiple drop balls, and then also a lot of times where the quarterback had people open and just overthrew them or something. And a lot of that comes from he was scrambling while he was doing it. So
I mean, the running game overall didn't do terrible. I mean, 6 rushes for 76 yards with Lawrence Toafili. LaDamian Webb had 9 carries for 74 yards. I don't understand why they didn't run it more.
Well, because they were behind by so much so early.
But
they felt like they had to throw it to get back in the game. And that's
true.
why I said they put him in an uncomfortable position. That's not Florida State, at least right now, because like he said earlier, you got the guy coming in from Memphis. So 3 years from now, they're probably going to be one of those teams that's like, hey, we're going to lose, but we're going to put up 40 in doing it. They're probably going to be one of those teams. But right now, you've got the time of possession, run the football, keep the offense on the field, and keep their offense off the field style of team.
Speaking of
and
time of possession, how was that?
Oh, I don't think you want to look. Yeah, I mean, it was just an overall bad thing. And, time of possession, 34 minutes to 25. Actually, Florida State won the time of possession by 9 minutes.
Well, they were having 70-yard gains.
Well,
while we were sitting
that's
here.
because Louisville was scoring so quick.
Yeah, exactly.
And, again, another thing, undisciplined play. 11 penalties, 104 yards. That's a touchdown. I mean, it's... Okay.
So I think moving forward, put Chubba in there, see if he can get his first completion.
Yeah.
Get him.
But
in there.
I don't
Make it
look.
30.
I'm not gonna really trash Jordan Travis because I think overall, I mean, he's a good quarterback. He just needs to work on the passing.
Well, the good thing about it, imagine if Blackman was in there.
Yeah, it's going to be much better.
Yeah,
It would be worse.
they only had one turnover, and it really wasn't his fault.
Yeah, probably wouldn't even have 16. No, with Blackman.
Yeah, they only had one turnover, and it really wasn't his fault. So at least he took care of the ball, though he threw a number of passes that probably should have been. But whatever.
I really believe he could be a super good quarterback if he could just get the passing figured out. I mean.
But, I mean, like I said before, at this point, he doesn't have it figured out. And all it was going to take, like I said in the preview, all it was going to take was for somebody to force him to throw the ball around, and things could get ugly. That's what I said in the preview, and that's what I saw out there today. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, and especially, like he said, coming off of how they played last week, definitely not what you wanted to see.
It's a head scratcher, to say the least.
Yeah, but, at the end of the day, you live, you learn, and look forward to the bye week, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I need a break after this. I don't know if I could watch the team play next week. But, got who is it next? Like some easier opponent, I think.
Isn't it NC?
Pittsburgh, I thought you said.
No, NC. Yeah, Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh's not bad, but I think they're one of those teams. I think we could probably.
Well, they're one of those former Big East teams, ACC teams now. But especially if it's in Pittsburgh, weather could be a factor.
It's in Florida State.
It's at Florida. Okay, so that helps.
Yeah, and this could be a nice warm up for what you can expect in the Clemson game. We'll see what ends up happening there.
I'm not looking. Oh, speaking of Clemson, we're gonna get. That's not even gonna be worth watching. I mean, we're gonna get 70-3 or 70-10 or something stupid like that against them. Especially if we can't.
Well, they beat Georgia Tech 73-3. And Georgia Tech beat you, so.
Yeah, 3 points might be a little generous. No, I'm just kidding. But, hey, just start Chuba, and that's a reality. 0 points.
Let him be the tackling dummy out
there. We thought Jordan Travis was having trouble today with the defense. I mean, being rushed with no blitz, not even a blitz. I mean, goddamn, it's gonna be he's gonna be throwing interceptions left and right.
I think myself is just too far down the road. You got to worry about Pitt next, and
just
try
that's
to do
true
the best you can,
and then we got NC State
because it's just the one. It's definitely now it's in a 1 week mode where you just got to make sure you take care of what you need to do with Pitt and do the best you can, and then just go from there.
And then hopefully you can get Terry back because it is a bye week. They were talking during the game about potentially he could return by the time they play their next game. So that will definitely be, at the very least, I think it'll be a confidence booster for him. Maybe give him, like, hey, we got our big guy back, and maybe give him a little more confidence. I don't know.
Shoot. But, nonetheless, just crappy performance, and not much else to say about it. Basically, sums it up. Crappy equals FSU this year.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, any final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Who's Michigan playing next week? Do you know?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not really worried about it anyway. It's going to be a week-to-week thing. They're going to play decent some weeks and not so good others. That's kind of the way they work.
Yeah.
And it's going to come down to when they play Ohio State anyway. I mean, that's the whole season in a nutshell.
Yeah.
We'll find a way to lose the bye week.
Final thoughts on that?
Yeah. Next week, it's usually the rival game at the end of the year, but for some reason they put it up into week 2 for us. So UNLV will be a good contest, and they get to play in the new NFL stadium. So. Good for the kids and everything on with it. I think really when they actually had to make this schedule, I think this is actually the perfect spot for it because it's Nevada Day on the 31st of October, and you got the 2 schools playing each other. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Should hopefully be spirited. We haven't had the camera, the cannon since we've it's been red since the new coach took over. So just like you say with those certain games where you have to win games. This is one where you have to win this game for you to be considered a good coach at this school because that cannon should never be red. It should be Fremont blue for a long time and always. So again, just like any of those rival games, that you got to win this one. Yep.
Yeah, and Buffs next week.
Buffs in 2 weeks actually.
Oh, 2 weeks.
Yeah, first game's at home against UCLA. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but speaking of, hey. Mel Tucker, good job, dude. You lost to Rutgers.
Yeah, I wasn't going to get into that game, but...
No, I was just saying since he said CU, and I wanted to say, that guy left he left a worse mark than Neuheisel did when he scapegoated up to Washington with the Colorado program. This one is number 1 because he pretty much bold-faced lied to everybody and was going to build a culture there and tucked his tail and ran out of town. So you know what? Karma, kudos for you, Mel. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Final thoughts?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Final thoughts. I'm done.
For me, I just, looking forward to next week again. I'm not exactly sure who we play, but I think
Maybe the next sacrificial lamb.
yeah, it should be a good performance again next week.
I was gonna say you don't have to worry until the championship game.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah,
Because Auburn, I don't even think is gonna be a good game.
No, they're
I think they're gonna roll Auburn so fast.
horrible this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened to them, but moving forward, it should be good stuff. Looks like next week is a Mississippi State, so we get Mike Leach next week. But they're struggling this year, so we should be good there. Anyways, hopefully we can all come to the table with a little bit more exciting stuff to say than.
This is exciting, but not for the right reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, next week you get to relax and you can point and laugh at everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. You can enjoy everyone else in pain.
You'll have to board my misery boat.
Yeah. So, with that being said, guys, this was the week, whatever the hell week we're on now.
College
preview. Yeah, the college football review. We hope you enjoyed it. My name's Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
I'm Steve.
I'm done.
And we'll see you guys in the next video.